Now to the latest on the deadly garage collapse in Lower Manhattan. The removal of crushed cars and debris at the site could take close to a month. Due to the gasoline, electric batteries, and other hazardous materials, it is a delicate process. About 90 crushed and damaged cars were in the crumbled remains of the garage. The preliminary investigation found all 3 floors of the garage collapsed, if not entirely, at least partially. And city officials are now looking at if the weight of the cars and the age of the nearly 100-year-old building combined to lead to this disaster. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live in Lower Manhattan with more. NJ.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Experts say the cause of the collapse will be found in the building records and in the ruins of this 3-story parking garage. And yes, we learned today that it could take upwards of 3 weeks to demolish the building, clear the site, and shore up the adjoining buildings. It will be an inconvenience for residents, but not all of them are focused on that. Neighbors placed flowers outside the collapsed site on Ann Street. A touching gesture to mourn the death of Willis Moore, the 59-year-old parking garage manager, loved and respected by residents and customers for his kindness and outgoing personality. His body was recovered late yesterday, the only person to die in the collapse. Demolitions workers seemed focused on removing more debris from the site today, clearing the way for engineers and building inspectors to assess the structural stability of adjoining buildings that have been evacuated and to get a closer look at the collapsed site itself. What caused the collapse is still not clear, exactly 48 hours after the 98-year-old building cracked and caved in. There were at least 50 vehicles on the roof, leading many experts to speculate that the combined weight was simply too much for the old building to withstand.
Obviously, the capacity of the structure was exceeded. Otherwise, it wouldn't have fallen. The focus will be, should someone have known that maybe the deterioration of the structure couldn't accept the amount of loads that were put on it? I think that's the fundamental question.
And back now, the live picture on Ann Street here in Lower Manhattan. The site had been largely quiet for the past several hours, but you can see now that demolitions teams have moved back into the site with heavy equipment. What they're doing in there, it's difficult to see at this moment, but they've clearly decided that they're going to go in there and perhaps move some more of the debris, maybe even take out some more cars. Rick Chandler, former buildings commissioner, you heard him a moment ago. I asked him what it was about the collapse that surprised him the most, and he said he was surprised that it wasn't an isolated collapse, that it wasn't just simply a part of the floor, the top floor that caved in, maybe under 1 or 2 or 3 of the cars. The fact that it was a total collapse of the roof surprised him the most. We'll have much more on my interview with Rick Chandler coming up on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock tonight.